In the NFL, at the interior defensive line position, it is very important to be able to stuff the run and be at least a positive pass rusher. It is important to be versatile, especially on the interior, and in the 2023 college football season, only one player has graded an 85 plus according to PFF as both a pass rusher and a run defender. And that player is Texas defensive tackle tvondresweat, an absolute monster who has been one of Texas' most impactful players this season. And in today's video, we will be discussing what makes him such a fun prospect to watch. But hey guys, you guys voted to see a tvondresweat prospect spotlight over many other Texas prospects, so here it is. Leave a like, subscribe, and let's go ahead and get right into it. Stats do not tell the full story. You can look at a player's stats, especially college players, and it can lead you to believe a player is either better or worse than they really are. In 2022, Sweat posted 29 tackles, 4 pass deflections, with 0 sacks on the year for the Longhorns. He had 4 hits and 18 hurries on the season. However, in 2023, he has been one of Texas' best defensive players, and the stats are better this year. He has 40 tackles with 4 pass deflections and 2 sacks on the year. He also has 3 quarterback hits, 23 hurries, and Texas is still alive in the college football playoff race, and they are competing for the Big 12 championship. Sweat is an absolute behemoth. He is 6'4", 362 pounds, and he is constantly the biggest guy on the field. He has incredible size, he's wide, he has good height, and he physically is one of the most imposing defenders in college football. Sweat plays really low to the ground, and he has a consistent stance. He generates his power from his lower body, and he has a lot of really good traits on the line of scrimmage. Sweat is a terrific run stuffer. He is able to clog up the lane with his size, but also he has long arms, and he is able to make arm tackles. This is the best characteristic of his game, is his ability to stop the run, and he is very hard to run the football against. He takes up so much space, and surprisingly, is incredibly athletic for his size. A guy of 340 pounds should not be this good of a mover in the open field, but at 362 pounds, Sweat is. There are numerous occasions where he is able to chase down the running back, and while he isn't a super fast guy, he is a fluid mover and very athletic. It never looks awkward, uncomfortable, and this is fantastic to see, and another reason why he is such a very good defender. Sweat is more than just a run defender though. While the sack numbers are not very high, Sweat has some pass rush upside. He has a quick first step and is exceptionally strong, and he is able to push the guard or center back in the pocket and make life more difficult for the quarterback. But he does more than that. He has an exceptional swim move that he utilizes from time to time where he is able to get the offensive player on his shoulder, and with his quickness and his quick first step, he can get into the quarterback's pocket and make life very difficult for him. All of this is very good to have from a guy who a lot of people think is just a run-stuffing nose tackle. Lastly, Sweat does a very good job at swatting balls at the line of scrimmage. He jumps up, has a solid vertical, and he is able to deflect passes before they even reach the line, and I love to see him have high awareness like that on the field. There are some issues with Sweat from time to time, and one of them is that he is not an every down player. He has been used in more of a rotational role for the Longhorns, and he has just not been given the opportunity to be a consistent every down player, and I don't know if that is something that he has in his future, and I would like to see that improve from him. Another thing I noticed with him, he didn't have an elite change of direction. Granted, when you are 362 pounds, you shouldn't be able to move this well to begin with, but sometimes if he is forced on the opposite side of the ball, he really struggles to push himself back into the play. He can't really pivot very well, and he has great upside, but he is not elite as a direction changer, so those are two areas that I'd like to see Sweat improve upon. Sweat is an elite run stopper and pass rusher, and he has moved up my board significantly. He originally was my number 8 defensive tackle in the class, but he is currently sitting as my number 3 defensive tackle in the 2024 NFL Draft, just slightly below Miami's Leonard Taylor. He is an absolute beast and is my number 31 player in the class. Sweat, I think, would work best as a nose tackle in a 3-4. This allows him to line up over the center, and he can be a run stuffer and pass rusher at this position. He is more than a run stuffer, as we've talked about, but because of his size, I really struggled to figure out where he would fit in the NFL. He has great run stuffing ability, the ability to rush the passer, and I think that is exactly what teams are looking for in modern nose tackles, and he fits that exact build. My player comparison for Tvondresweat is Vita Vea. Now, a lot of people are talking about Vince Wilfork, and while I like that comparison a lot, unfortunately Wilfork was a bit before my time, so I never really got to see him play. But Vea has a similar size profile at 6'4", but Sweat is 15 pounds heavier. They are both great run defenders, but also have some stuff to offer as pass rushers, which is very important. I think they play very similar games. Tvondresweat is terrifying. He is huge, he is physical, he is an incredible athlete, and he can stuff the run and rush the passer. He is going to be used in a lot of very interesting ways at the next level, but because nose tackle is not a super valuable position in today's NFL, I think Sweat could drop a little bit in the draft. Ultimately, I don't think he's going to fall very far, and I think Tvondresweat will be a top 50 pick in the 2024 NFL Draft.